You want to have a great conversation? Meet a farmer. Talk to a farmer. Backbone of America. Max Armstrong spent a whole life talking to farmers. Man knows tractors inside out. Max was kind of, a little bit cagey around me till he found out I grew up with my father driving a farm-all. Then he decided, that's my guy. Mm-hmm. Max got a new book out and joins us now. And great to hear your voice, my friend.
Hey, young man, it's great to visit with you again, Steve. I always enjoy you guys so much. I listen, when I'm in the Chicago car, I'm listening to you all the time.
Oh, nice. Very
over
nice.
the internet when I'm out of town, too. Yeah, it's great.
Well, very nice. Let's catch up real quick here. So since you left the regular radio gig, you've been doing farm TV all over and farm internet all over. And obviously, you're still talking to farmers every day because you got the new book out.
Yeah. I've been on a bunch of small stations for the past 14 years, all over the United States, and then the television stations. And then we had a syndicated television farm show. We just wrapped that up after 18 seasons. I'm still helping out some with This Week in Agribusiness through the end of this year. And part of my agreement with Farm Progress, which, by the way, is the company that once owned WLS, Prairie Farmer.
Wow.
That's right.
How about that?
In fact, in my book, there's a WLS no trespassing sign pictured in there.
You know what? They put that up as soon as I started working here. They were trying to keep me out. Well, it all comes full circle. So, Jane, have you ever met Max in person?
Well, I haven't met Max in person, but we had him on the air another time that I was here. So it's great to have you back, Max. I love the book. I've been looking at it and reading a little synopsis of it. What I love the best is the stories that you infuse in the book and the people that you've met along the way and the great history you've had, even from your radio and television career. But what I take away most is that the farmers that you go visit, you're like a celebrity. You've got the celebrity status when you show up there.
You're not kidding. He's Elvis.
I
He's
know.
Elvis when he goes there.
I don't think that's. I will tell you that's what I've enjoyed most about this job is being out on farms. Just the greatest people in the world riding in the combine cab at harvest time. And I told Linda, I said, when I'm all done with this, I'm going to hang a map out of the shed and try to put pins of every farm I visited. She laughed and said, "Well, lots of luck with that, buddy, because it's going to be tough."
Now, you grew up on a farm.
Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about the family. I know all this. This is me pitching one easy.
Grew up on a farm down near Evansville, Indiana.
Yeah. And what kind of farm was it?
There was grain and livestock, and there was a WLS no trespassing sign hanging on the barn lot gate. I'm serious about that.
How about that? And when did you know this is what you wanted to do with your life?
When I was about 7, I'd sit in the closet and play radio in the old farmhouse. They were worried about me, I'm sure.
And was it because you wanted to do radio and you were already on a farm, you were doing the agriculture business? Like you knew that was where you wanted to go in, do farm radio?
No, not really. I just wanted to be, on radio as a newsman, either radio or television. And then I got to college and came out of Purdue, and I was looking for a job. And they said, "Hey, we've got a farm broadcaster opening at the Illinois Farm Bureau in Bloomington." So I was there about 2.5 years before going to Chicago.
And I think at the time you were at Chicago, was it WoWo and Fort Wayne was the other big farm broadcaster?
Well, there were a bunch of them all over the country doing farm.
But the big ones, the big 50,000 watt cleared channels, smokestacks, those big ones?
yeah. CCO in Minneapolis.
Oh,
was
that's
a big
right.
Farm station back in the day, yeah. Whoa, you mentioned a great one there. Some out of the Plain States, KRVN in Nebraska. There was another big one in Omaha. So there were several across the country.
So just for a second, talk about what that means to the farmers to have that connectivity, because it's not just about announcing prices.
Yeah, things have changed a lot over the years. Of course, they can stream radio into the cab of the combine. A friend of mine along the Carolina coast told me he's going to be out combining his corn today, bringing in his corn crop. And he said he would be listening to me. There are various ways to listen, but we were the companion for them and talked about them. That's been, I think, maybe my most important role, Steve, is to talk about farmers to the non-farm public.
The book, by the way, and get 2 copies, maybe 3 more stories from the Heartland. How many is this? 2 or 3 books now?
This is just the second one. Great Christmas present. I call it my great bathroom book. They're short stories, a lot of pictures, and it's small enough to fit on the tank there. So
I think that's great. There's your stocking stuffer right there. Or maybe because it's your book of Thanksgiving, give it to everybody at your Thanksgiving table.
I just can't believe the publisher wouldn't let you use that as a slug.
Well, he's not happy about it.
So we're not going to give away the book, but at least tell me one story from the book, one that jumps out for you.
One of my favorite stories is getting stuck on the Hancock Building parking ramp. You know that ramp that goes
Of course.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
worked in that building for years, yeah.
I ran out of gas 20 feet from the top. You know, there's only one way to go when you run out of gas on that ramp.
So you held up the whole train.
We went back, all of us. Here I am, no power steering, no power brakes, and a big old company station wagon motioning out the window. Go back, go back.
Oh, boy.
Wow. I had no idea.
That's
Yeah, I spent
stressful.
years of adventure in that. And that little redheaded dope, Danny Bonaducci, used to have races down that thing back in the loop days.
Well, and it's just so, I mean, the curve of that, it's scary if
crazy.
you have gas.
No,
so.
it's crazy. It's crazy. No, I never knew that story. All right, so listen, more stories from the Heartland. It's out. It's available. Where do we get it?
Yeah, you can go to maxarmstrongbook.com. You can download it via Kindle or iTunes. And there's an audiobook version of it. If it's better than Somadex, man. If you've got a problem sleeping, you can listen to Max tell you these stories.
Oh, that's good.
You know, I got offered, in the last 2.5 years before I came back to radio, I was doing the podcast that I still do live from my office. But I got offered a couple of chances to do audiobooks. And I had people who had done them go, oh, you better know what you're getting into. So that's a lot of work, man. That's a lot of work. Did you find it a lot of work to actually say what you wrote?
I suppose it wasn't so hard because it was my story, and it only, it's a small book, and I have with a lot of pictures. So I do describe the pictures a little bit, and I guess I elaborate on some of these stories. Not exaggerate, but elaborate.
Sure.
That's fine.
Sure. Yeah, I was doing War and Peace 2.
Yeah,
so it was a little longer.
That's a bit of a challenge.
I hope the family's great. Everybody good?
Everybody's swell. Granddaughters have been around a lot this summer and using the pool, and it's just been a wonderful time. It's nice to be spending a little more time at home and a little bit less time on airplanes.
And how many grandkids now?
Two, and ages 9 and 5.
Aw,
and
cute.
I've got 2 as well, and it's the greatest thing that ever happened. You never told me how cool it was, and it is the greatest. Grandkids are the greatest invention ever.
Even if they tell you, you can't fully appreciate it, And as I listen to you, I can hear you're having as much fun as I am.
Oh, it's the best, just the best. Well, you sound great, and I know how good you look because I see that smiling face on LinkedIn all the time. But follow him on LinkedIn. But go to maxarmstrongbook.com. Get your copy of More Stories from the Heartland. It's the great Max Armstrong. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Max.
Thank you. Appreciate you guys. Take care.
See you later.